We can finally move on to one of the main topics here today, which is Loki. And firstly, Keely, what do you think of the three episodes prior to this one?
I thought it was really good. I think my favorite was the first two. The third one kind of felt like a filler episode. Well, I enjoyed it or whatnot, but I think it's really good. I think it's probably like one of the best ones. Like just plot wise, it moves at besides the third episode like a really fast pace, and I'm really enjoying it. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah, look, I've been enjoying it. Last week's episode I wasn't a fan of. It's probably because Mobius wasn't involved, because I
Yeah.
really like Owen Wilson. I think he's brilliant. And even if we
He
just
was
work on
worth
for
every
a few,
penny.
yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. And people were saying they weren't sure if he was right for the role or miscast. But I think he's doing an amazing job. I really do. But the first two episodes were brilliant. Last week's I wasn't a fan of, but they made up for it this week. Can you see? You see, gone.
Oh,
You see. He said his power might go because there's lots of rain in India.
oh.
Yeah, so I don't know if we're still alive or not now. He said if his
It says
internet
that
goes,
mine says. Oh,
Hey,
you're
I'm back.
back.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm
Where'd you
having
go?
camera issues right now. But
uh,
yeah, I thought episode three was pretty good. Sorry, episode four was pretty good. I really enjoyed again, like we say every episode. I really enjoyed Loki and Mobius's dialogue and exchange, all that. Um, there were some really good, you know, shocking moments in this episode, and I
Yeah,
thought that they were done pretty well, and especially with Mobius's death, and well, he's not technically dead, but yeah, the way it played out, it was pretty emotional. And then the them finding out that the TVA is lying to them, that was also pretty well done. Um, Sylvie's character is amazing. Her dynamic between her and Loki, that was pretty good, and between her and B15 was also pretty good. So I pretty much enjoyed this. I still think the first one was probably the best yet, but this one is also
I
pretty solid. Sorry, what?
yeah,
I agree. I like the first
Yeah,
episode the best.
yeah. The first one was
yeah,
like it was amazing. But yeah, I'm really loving Owen Wilson's performance. I think he's one of my favorite MCU characters now. He's just uh, I did not expect to like him that much, especially in a Loki series, which I wasn't that interested in the first place. But now it's just the show just keeps surprising me, and I'm just loving it.
Me too. I was
I,
kind of over Loki at that point. I
Yeah,
thought he was like overexposed, but then like the show brought it back, and then I think it's just, like the writing is really good, and they're giving him more like character development stuff to do.
yeah,
yeah, exactly. And I wasn't convinced that the relationship between Sylvie and Loki in terms of her chemistry, and then can this Sylvie actress really portray Loki in the right way? And maybe I was too hard on her last week because it was her first time in the role. This week, I think she was brilliant. She looks like she's the superior Loki in ways. She was able to survive. She didn't die technically with the thing, but yeah, I just think she was brilliant. But I think the acting goes to Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson. But
Oh
the
yeah,
subtle things like just one piece of dialogue or the way they look at something, it makes the scene. Especially the one where Loki goes because Mobius is a little bit pissed off at Loki because he turned on him and he tried to trick him and stuff like that. And then Loki tries to tell him that this is all fake. They're lying to you. You're a variant. And then Mobius won't listen to him, won't believe him, and Mobius calls him a liar. And then Loki's like, "Look, you're living the biggest lie of all. You're lying to yourself." That was deep.
I like the line where you said, "I'm gonna have a prince tell me how the real world works" during the
Yes,
interrogation scene. I was like,
yes,
I'm still
it was
waiting
very good.
for King to show up. Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a
He's supposed to
possibility.
be in Ant-Man, and was it Renslayer is supposed to be his girlfriend in the comics. So I'm waiting for him to show up.
Yeah, like we got to see the timekeepers. So brought in Sylvie and Loki are brought in by oh, what's the girl's name that's over the TVA? She's kind of the main kind of
Ravonna.
guard. Yeah, Ravonna. She brings them in. The timekeepers want to see them. The timekeepers are happy because they're captured and they're going to kill them. But there's a fight that breaks out, and like Bee Hunter or Hunter B
Hunter
15,
B-15.
yeah, she figures out that she's a variant as well. Sylvie's able to show her she's had a past life. So she realizes that it's all a lie and it's all fake as well. So she's able to free Loki and Sylvie to take on all the rest of the TVA guards, and eventually Sylvie's able to chop the head off the main timekeeper, and the head rolls down very much like Wonder Woman, Steppenwolf, very much like Thanos, Thor. We're seeing a trend of heads being chopped off, but it's a robot. And I said this since the start, Casey. I don't think these guys are real. I think it's the
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz thing. Behind the curtain, who's there? So
Yeah.
I don't know who's there.
I think
I really
it's
don't know.
Kang that's
Yeah,
doing it.
that's the
Yeah.
main theory right now, isn't it? Everyone thinks it's Kang the Conqueror. He's
Yeah.
going to show up on 3, but I've seen some other theories as well. Remember, this is Marvel. It could be Miss Minutes. It could be
Yeah.
Miss Minutes or something.
Some people are
I don't know
actually
how I
saying
feel.
it could be it could be a variant of Loki, another variant of Loki, like played by Tom Hiddleston maybe.
Yeah,
Which is interesting. And they wouldn't need another cast member for that, and he could just be that. So I don't think that's too far fetched. However,
It could be one of the variants that they introduced that in the end credit scene,
yeah,
like Richard Grant.
yeah. But I also
yeah, it
do
could be.
think,
Could be him.
I do think that it's Kang for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if
But
I buy
will
any other theories.
but will John Majors show up though? That's the thing.
That's what
Will
I'm
they
hoping
introduce
for, because
him?
I want to see him before
That would be
and watch.
big.
And yeah, and like Renslayer is supposed to be his girlfriend in the comics, so they wouldn't have her introduced if she wasn't supposed to.
That's true.
But do you? But right. So judging by the Disney Plus episodes and shows that have gotten so far, like nothing really big has dropped in these episodes or shows in terms of a major character showing up. We all thought Doctor Strange would show up. One division, we thought maybe that this was Quicksilver. We thought maybe Mephisto. None of it happened. We thought maybe in Falcon and the Winter Soldier that maybe Cap might show up. I think there was even talks that he was maybe going to make an appearance, but he never did. The other Avengers, nobody really did. Like, will Kevin Feige introduce this character into this show, or will he wait until Ant-Man 3?
Yeah, well, I think he said I think he will, as long as it's not like in front of the plot, because I think he said that he wanted to make the shows so you could watch them on their own and you didn't have to watch them
Yeah.
to watch the movie.
Yeah, that's a good
So you
point.
could have them in like a bubble, like an end credit scene to show that he's there, but like I don't think he can show up in like a huge manner.
What they could do is, as you said, a post-credit scene, but that post-credit scene is like the opening scene to Ant-Man 3. So that way, everyone's seen it. No, whoever didn't watch the show, they didn't miss it. They got to see it in the movie. People who watch the show get to see the scene again. Oh, that's cool. It leads in from Loki into Ant-Man 3. Okay, cool. By the way, I think that's probably the best option, because remember we talked about this before, KC, that Kevin Feige said these shows aren't a must, and that nothing. I'm not quote by quote. I'm not saying it right, but he basically said nothing major that really deconstructs the MCU universe on the big screen happens in these shows.
Right.
It's all set up. It's all character development. It's just background information. Nothing that really furthers Phase 4, Phase 5 happens in these shows. That's what I kind of got from what he was saying.
Right.
I like how they mentioned, because they did mention vampires. Like Mobius mentioned, he captured vampires, and that got me thinking about Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be Blade, or it could also be Morbius.
Oh. Morbius and Morbius.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Jared
that's
Leto
what I
fucking up.
see when it's written down. I'm like Morpheus or Morbius, or it all sounds too familiar, like too similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Did Casey? Did you? I never sent you the poll. You don't have it, no?
Yeah. I don't.
Okay, I have it here.
You'll
Okay,
just have
so
to read it.
again, but on the Real Talk Live pages, which you can follow us on the Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, top polls and stuff. So there was one on Twitter, and the question was: after watching episode 4 of Loki, who really is the timekeepers? The four options were Tom Hiddleston's Loki, a different kind of version of him, a different Loki variant, like Sylvie or Richard E. Grant or the crocodile or alligator, whatever it was, something like that. They don't exist at all, was another option. It's just all a lie, maybe to keep the multiverse in order so nobody manipulates it, nobody takes advantage of the multiverse. Maybe it was all just a big lie. And the last option was Kang the Conqueror. So, Casey, which one do you think won the poll?
Hang.
And Keely, or which one do you think?
Well, I think it's. Well, I don't know, because Renslayer, it seemed like she was surprised that happened, like when she was going to talk with them, but maybe she's just helping Kane.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like, I think that there must be like some other level of like a middleman in there could be as well.
Yeah.
But I definitely do think like yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. It could be kind of Conqueror, but we don't see him. We just see somebody that's working for him. And like, you know, the way Thanos had his he had his men working for him, like the villain for Guardians 1. What was that guy called?
Ronan.
Yeah, Ronan. So somebody like that who's working for Kang, like Ronan was for Thanos. But the winner, of course, was Kang the Conqueror.
Who voiced
43%.
those timekeepers though?
I don't know.
Because that was definitely not Jonathan Majors.
Oh no, of course no. But did you guys find it hard to understand them?
Yeah. I didn't understand what the second one was saying.
Yeah, I had to turn up my TV. I just could not understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
But Kang the Conqueror won at 43%. And 28% of the people who voted think that it doesn't exist. It's all just a lie. There is no timekeeper. So
I liked because I saw this theory online that in Spider-Man No Way Home, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield would be Spider-Man's variant. And that's how they would extend the multiverse. And I thought like that makes just a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. But also, Casey, I spoke to you earlier about Casey, but the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the TVA is all about taking control of. There is no free will. You know, that's basically what they're doing. They're making sure that all the timelines stay where they need to go. Nobody can jump from this one to this one, or you get brought to the TVA like Loki or Sylvie and stuff like that. Now, the TVA may be a bad thing to have, but maybe it's a necessary thing to have. You know, because if there is no TVA, if there's no members of the TVA, or if there's no timekeepers to keep an eye on this, then something like the multiverse could happen. That's maybe, I'm thinking the TVA collapses. Maybe Loki defeats them with Sylvie, Mobius helps. They defeat the TVA, but it cracks open the multiverse because there's nobody to watch it. So then everyone can jump to different timelines, and maybe it causes some big thing where that's how Tobey Maguire comes back. That's how Andrew Garfield comes back. That's how they all come into the one universe. Do any of you guys think that's maybe a possibility?
Yeah. Well, also all the rules, like the TVA of like what like is like a variant and not, like seems very arbitrary. Like where were they during like Avengers Endgame or whatnot? Like their excuse was that was supposed to happen. I'm like, okay, yeah, it seems very arbitrary what they call like diverging from the timeline and what's like supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And it's weird because we don't know what the TVA rules actually are, because all they've done so far they have been lying to the TVA members and then to us. So we don't know exactly what is true, and we still have 2 episodes left. So I'm hoping they reveal it before we go into Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, because I think this information will be kind of essential to those movies, because this is establishing the multiverse, right? So it has to be important for those movies specifically. So WandaVision didn't do that. Neither did Falcon and Winter Soldier. They didn't have something established in the shows that would, that would be of
So
use in the
just
movies.
this. I wondered because like he did say like nothing in the shows would like directly affect the movies.
Right.
But the whole reason why Wanda opens up the multiverse is going to be to look for her kids, and
Yeah.
then like her kids Tommy and Billy will be in Young Avengers. So like
Yeah.
I wondered that is one thing that will have to
Yeah.
kind of be, I guess.
Yeah, but they can just, explain that in the movie itself with one line. But you can't go back and explain the TVA or how the multiverse works in the MCU all over again in the movie. I
There,
think
yeah.
I think this is just too much to just establish in, one line or two lines. So I think they did a pretty good job in this one. Even if it's not true, I think there are some truth to it. Like the video that they showed of the timekeepers having the sacred timeline and all that, the Nexus event, I think all of that was true, except the timekeepers part. That was probably not true, but the way the timeline works, even the ancient one was saying it's that way, right? So I think the structure of the timeline and the multiverse was true, so they don't have to reestablish that.
I'm also wondering like why Sylvie
Yeah,
had to
that's a
be
very good
like
question.
why was she considered like a variant, like why did she create a Nexus event? Like I'm wondering
I
like
hate when that happens because even in one of the previous episodes, she was not saying anything to Loki in episode 3. She wasn't telling anything about herself, and I was just getting frustrated. And then Loki asked her, asked her himself. He was like, "Okay, I'm telling everything about myself, but you're not saying anything." I was like, "Exactly." The same thing happened in this episode when they just randomly took her, and the entire episode just passed by in front of our eyes, but they never answered why they took her. And she literally
well she
asks
asked
her.
yeah, Renslayer, yeah,
Yeah,
she asked her and that was like so cold when she was like
yeah,
I don't remember. It was like years
yeah. I was
ago.
like, really? Just tell us.
I think we could. I think we could get maybe we get it from because who's left? We have Sylvie's left, and we
Yeah,
have Ramona. So they're obviously going to have a conversation next week.
yeah,
And
And she took Renslayer too. Like it
yeah,
ends with her saying you're gonna give me answers. So
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm confident that we'll get the reason why they took her as a young girl. Sylvie, I think we'll get that next week. But also, I thought it was interesting is the relationship between Mobius and Ramona. They obviously like. I think Mobius likes her. I think Ramona likes him, but she isn't going to double cross the time gods or the timekeepers. I think it's very much like a religion. She believes in them, and you know, like when she ordered Mobius to be killed, she looked away. She didn't want to see him.
yeah,
So she has feelings for him, but she's not going to go against these timekeepers. And why would she? They're basically gods.
yeah,
That's what she's been told. That's what she's been told. So
yeah,
she's not going to go against them. But yeah, but she thinks like she's been living her whole life a lie as well because we get to see her go back and take young Sylvie,
yeah,
and they use the device that resets that timeline. The thing they use, and it kind of wipes out and resets it.
yeah,
So that shows that she believes in it as well, and that wasn't just a made up thing for our perception watching the show. They've been doing that for years, and they believe that they go to a different timeline. They have to reset it. There was a reason I think they showed us that, very closely. So I don't think Ravona knows who the timekeepers are or anything like that. Maybe,
yeah.
but I think she very very much believed in them, and she probably doubts herself now for making sure that Mobius is killed, but he'll probably come back because Loki's alive.
We saw the
I think
Watchers
she is
in one
on
of
it
the
though.
Guardians of the
I think she
Galaxy movies,
knows.
right? So they could just be like that.
Yeah, yeah, the Watchers, yeah, they existed. Yeah, I think Stan Lee had a cameo with them or
Yeah.
something like that. It's funny. What were you saying, Kitty?
Well,
I was gonna say I think she does know more than she's letting on. I think she's working with Kang.
Really?
That's interesting because I also think it's Kang, but not able to um, I'm not able to put together the evidence that's been presented in the show so far. So I'm just
And you know
theorizing
what?
it.
So Sylvie aged. She aged through
Yeah,
the different timelines to be a woman, of course.
yeah,
But Ravonna never aged, really. She didn't really age. So maybe that's why she was covering for the timekeepers and stuff like that, because she's
I
able
think
to
it's because
live
she was
forever.
staying at the TVA. Because like
Yeah,
Mobius
but
and the
like,
other agents in Asia. Yeah, so I think
and that
yeah.
and that's why she wants to keep the illusion. That's why she wants the TVA to keep going. She gets to live forever. But they got rid of, was it Hunter B-20 or C-20,
Mhm.
that
C20,
young
yeah,
girl? Yeah, they killed her. Maybe well, they didn't show us that they killed her, but they got rid of her because she was figured out that she used to be somebody on maybe Earth or some other planet. She was a
maybe they
variant.
pruned her.
Yeah, maybe, and maybe she'll pop up somewhere else. But yeah, they were trying to cover it up. And then I love how Mobius, he listened to what Loki had to say, but he didn't want to do anything about it until he got more kind of
Yeah,
information back. We got to see the interview, and he started thinking a little bit more. And I just think Owen Wilson
yeah,
acted out that brilliantly.
he's brilliant. Also,
Yeah,
when
he's awesome.
in the end credit scene when they meet the other Lokis, the background um the background kind of feels like an apocalyptic post-apocalyptic world. The buildings are destroyed and everything. So I was wondering if that is one of the places that is kind of like a limbo, from Inception, that kind of a place, or it could be some place where um Thanos actually sent the rest of the people during the blip. But I
Well,
don't
I
think.
was wondering if it's like something that happens when when they set those like devices that resets time.
Yeah,
I was wondering if like that's what it does.
yeah, but is that place that
Destroys
big?
everything. I don't know.
It's
Yeah, it
it's
looked like the
It's
Avengers Tower was in the background, so it looked like it was.
yeah,
yeah, we still have a lot of questions with 2 episodes to go, and even you know, like I don't like we had by this stage in one division, like episode 6 or 7, we had so many questions, and we were like, they have to answer all of these questions. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier didn't answer all the questions either. So who's to
yeah.
say that Loki will? So we could be here after episode 6, and we're like, you see, they never answered
What?
this, and they never answered
Yeah,
that. You know, there could
yeah.
be a lot of plot holes.
That
Be a
happened a
lot of
lot
plot
with
holes because
WandaVision though. They left a
yeah,
lot of the story beats unanswered and just they abandoned it.
even Steele goes, this episode was filled with oh shit moments. Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely was, especially the post credit scene. Especially, you know what? I was actually pissed off, Casey, because the Mobius was. I thought that thing killed people. Obviously, it doesn't if Loki's still alive. But Mobius was just killed off like that. And there was
Yeah.
no emotional touch to it, only slightly. Loki kind of looked, oh, that's it. And I was like, is that it? Like,
Yeah.
do something more, cry or fight back or something. But
I
yeah,
mean,
but we'll obviously see him again.
yeah. I mean, he's just one of the TV agents for them, right? So they
Yeah,
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
and
care.
all.
maybe Loki survived because I was wondering, like, maybe did Loki survive because he's a god, and that's only why? Or well, when he said, "Is this hell?" I was hoping to see Kate Blanchett's Hela.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I knew they probably couldn't afford her, but
Yeah.
I was really hoping because I really wanted to see her back because like that would have been really cool.
Yeah,
Richard E.
Like
that would
Grant
have been
is
cool.
there though.
And then like Hela was there, his sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard E. Grant is wearing the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's like the Vision Halloween costume
Yeah,
that he wears.
and he doesn't look impressed whatsoever. Doesn't
Yeah.
look impressed.
I'm
But
pretty sure
the other
he'll be
guy
funny.
on, yeah, oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, kind of dry humor, that kind of thing. That'd be funny. But the guy on the left hand side, he's holding some sort of hammer.
Yeah.
Maybe he must be a Loki variant, or maybe he's a different variant of Thor. I don't know. But then we have a crocodile or an alligator there as well. What's that about? I
I
know
think
from the
all of
comics
these
there's
are
a
Lokis. You
Well,
know how
are
they
they?
were
I
Yeah.
talking about
think
different
frog
Lokis?
Thor is a thing in comics. So I
What's
guess
that?
Loki alligator, frog Thor is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah, so I guess frog Thor, Loki alligator.
I wonder if we'll actually see that. It
I
will be
bet we do.
hilarious.
Well, I wonder if we'll see other variants of Thor. That could be.
Yeah, I actually am expecting that. To be honest.
And you don't need big
Well,
actors
Beta
or
Ray Bill.
anything.
Maybe it's Beta. I think Beta Ray Bill's supposed to be in the next
Yeah,
Thor movie. I think.
yeah.
But yeah, maybe they introduced him here in just like a quick cameo, like one of the variants of Thor. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't need a big actor. You can just get an extra to do it, or just
Yeah.
you don't need just you don't need massive names or anything like that. But yeah, that's a possibility. And we should probably touch before we finish about Lady Civ. She's back.
Yeah.
She will be Loki was put into kind of a prison time loop of one of his worst memories where he gets punched because he
Fighting
cut a
and
bit of her
dying,
hair
fighting
off.
and dying.
Apparently, that's actually in Norse mythology where Loki cuts his hair.
Yeah.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah. It's like the actual story from Norse mythology or whatnot, where he cuts his hair.
Oh, that's cool. It was
Nice.
cool to see her back, and she will be in Tour 4.
Yeah.
So
She's
drop an
awesome.
Instagram post or Twitter post saying Lady Civ is back and she's here to stay. So maybe she has a big contract for more appearances.
Yeah. I hope so because she was amazing in previous movies. And I don't know why they didn't bring her back for Ragnarok. But I'm glad she's back and she's awesome. So looking forward to that. Also in this shot, I don't know if that's true, but on the right side, I think that's the Avengers Tower.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that. So
Those
that's also cool.
I didn't know that. So is that in New York?
Well,
then?
maybe one of the Loki variants is from like a failed invasion of New York, and like
You
they
know
redo the
what?
time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That could be it.
What? This is a timeline where Loki won in 2012. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Or
probably.
something like that. Like it's a variant from like one of the attacks on New York, and that's why in New York that area there is destroyed.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like maybe
Could
he
be.
won or he lost or he died or like something there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting. Maybe there was a Loki that went really bad, and he caused this or something like that. Now all the good Lokis have to come together. I don't know. It's just
Maybe
all these
it
Lokis.
was
Yeah.
like one attack on New York where the bomb, like, because in Avengers, like Tony stops the nuke. Maybe it's a timeline where the nuke like doesn't get stopped by Tony and it actually hits New York.
And it kills the Avengers, maybe, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's why it's all destroyed there. Yeah, maybe that's why.
I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
not get any answers.
That's the worst part. That's the worst part.
That's what I'm most.
Hopefully
That's what I'm
we have
most
2 more
insecure of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only 2. So hopefully we'll have to wait and see. But this was a better episode and much better than last week's because I think Mobius was in it. I think it's the best thing in the show, and the kind of mystery about the timekeeper. I think those 2 things are, for me, what keeps me engaged.